Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bleach Brave Souls. So today we are going to compare two of the newer characters in the game, Thousand Year Blood War Shunsui and Halloween Orihime, the zombie bride version. Now, why am I comparing these two characters? Well, because they are actually very similar. Both are speed characters, both have very high SP, spiritual pressure, and both have frenzy. So they have been compared a lot in my comment section and just in the community in general. So we're going to try to find out which one is superior. Once again, these are just my findings based on some testing I've done and some analysis. But at the end of the day, it's really up to your personal preference. Like, which character do you like better? Because both are still very strong. That being said, this might be a little bit of nitpicking, but we're gonna try to come up with a final decision on which one is superior in terms of effectiveness. So let me explain how this is going to go, guys. We're going to rate these characters in 7 categories, and I'll explain the categories as we go through them. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's start with the first category, statistics. Now, if we look at the statistics side by side, Orihime does have higher stamina, but Shunsui is superior in every other category, in attack, in defense, in focus, and in spiritual pressure. It's not by a lot, but it's still higher numbers overall. So for the overall statistical advantage, it's clearly Shunsui is the stronger character. I think that one is pretty simple to figure out, and it doesn't really leave much room for argument. Okay, so moving on, let's take a look at their soul traits. Now, Shunsui has the 20% strong attack damage, and Orihime has the minus 12 strong attack recharge. Now, both of these soul traits are very good. One of them is actually better suited to PvE, in my opinion, and that is the recharge soul trait. But the strong attack damage is probably better suited to PvE, or player versus player. So it's hard to come up with a decision here. Both are very good soul traits, but I'm going to have to give it to Orihime with the cooldown reduction. Both of these characters already hit very hard, so I feel like the 20% extra strong attack damage that Shunsui has is a little bit of overkill. Except in certain scenarios such as inheritance mode or extreme co-op where you need that extra damage. But overall, I think the cooldown reduction has more applications in day-to-day use. So for the soul trait, I'm going to give the slight edge to Orihime. Alright, let's move on to my next category, the third category, which is killer effects. Now, Orihime is classified as a human, and Shunsui has the Soul Reaper and Captain affiliation. So right off the bat, I think it's very clear who's the winner here. It's Orihime. Humans have no weaknesses. They're not vulnerable to any killer advantages on their enemies. Soul Reaper / Captains, pretty much any Espada or Hollow character will do extra damage to them. So since Orihime has a human killer classification, she does not get extra damage from her enemies. So clearly there, we're going to have to give it to Orihime. Shunsui is a Hollow killer at 20%. Orihime is a Arrancar killer at 20%. Now, both these are very good soul killer traits. There are probably more Hollow enemies in the game, so that would give the advantage to Shunsui. But the Arrancar killer ability also works on Espada. So, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up, but I'm going to give it to Orihime again just because it has more applications. The Arrancar killer. It's effective in PvP, and it's effective in PvE. The Hollow killer is really only effective in PvE alone. So the advantage for the overall killer effects category will go to Orihime. So next, let's analyze the normal attacks and the normal attack string. Both of them have pretty decent normal attack strings, but clearly, through my testing, Shunsui's was far superior. It's quicker, it hits harder, and it's just overall better. If we take a look at the 6-star upgrades that affect the normal attack damage on both these characters, both characters have long reach plus 20%, so that is an equal. But Shunsui does have a bruiser, normal attack damage of 30% up, as opposed to Orihime's 20% up bruiser. So overall, Shunsui has the normal attack advantage. He has a faster string, it does more damage, and it's just better overall. I should note that Orihime does have a chance to weaken on her normal attack string, but because this character is primarily based on strong attacks, I don't think you'll find yourself using the normal attack string that much, and the proc on the weaken from her normals is not really that often. So even with the proc, I still give the edge to Shunsui. Okay, so that brings us into the strong attack comparison. Both of these characters have very high SP, with Shunsui having slightly more. Shunsui and Orihime both have Frenzy. They both have Havoc, which increases the range of their strong attacks by 20%. But the attacks themselves are very different. Shunsui has 3 melee strong attacks. Orihime has 2 melee strong attacks and 1 range strong attack. And the range strong attack is an advantage to have one of those because it bypasses melee guard. So if you're facing an enemy with melee guard, just use the blue button and you can bypass their guard completely, which is nice to have if you can use it effectively. Other than that though, Shunsui's strong attacks, I feel like they're much quicker in their activation, meaning they come out quicker when you press the button. They do also have overall better range, I believe. Orihime's, you kind of have to aim them a little bit more than Shunsui's. Shunsui also has a superior 3rd strong attack, in my opinion. Orihime's charge attack, it's nice to have, but it's kind of tough to use. And I still don't think it hits as hard as Shunsui's 3rd strong attack based on my testing. Shunsui's 3rd strong attack is full screen. Orihime's 3rd strong attack is close to full screen, but not quite. So you will miss some enemies if they're too far spread out. The 2nd strong attack for Shunsui is also very strong. It's much stronger than Orihime's 2nd strong attack. It does have better range options. Orihime's 2nd strong attack is kind of linear. Shunsui's is a player-based area of effect. That hits pretty hard, especially if you have an enemy cornered against a wall or something like that. It will pretty much wipe out that mob. Orihime's not really, from what I've seen in my testing. Once again, Orihime does have weakened procs on all her strong attacks, which is a factor that I considered, but through the playtesting I did, I just found that Shunsui's strong attacks were more effective. They were more consistent, they were better range, they were faster, and they were just more effective. So I'm going to give the strong attack advantage to Shunsui. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's analyze their special attacks. Shunsui's is a full screen special. It does high damage, and it has a chance to one-shot kill the bosses, or whatever enemies are on the screen at the time. I've found that this one-hit KO is actually very rare. It doesn't happen that often, so that's kind of a demerit for Shunsui. He does have Devastation plus 40, which increases his damage on that special. But so does Orihime. They both have equal devastations. Orihime has a weakening on her special and Debilitator, which increases the duration of that weakening. So for this one, I mean, they're both very good specials. Shunsui's it'll still hit hard even if it doesn't one-shot KO, but I feel like Orihime's special is more reliable. You would get that weakened buff with Debilitator, and you get pretty good range on it as well. So I'm going to give the edge in specials to Orihime just for its consistency and the weakening effect, which is very, very strong. It's as strong as an offensive move and as a defensive move. Shunsui still does hit pretty hard, and it can one-shot, but the one-shot is kind of a rare occurrence, so I'm going to give it, like I said, to Orihime. And that brings us into our final category in this comparison, which is clear time. Now, for these tests, I do a neutral stage where neither character has an attribute advantage or a killer advantage. So they're going to be even in that regard, and I run the characters through the stages completely without character links or without accessories. So they're totally naked. Naked Orihime, yes, confirmed. Running through a neutral stage. So all the variables have been kind of reduced as much as I possibly could. And the results of this test, I ran each stage 5 times and averaged out the clear times. And overall, guys, Shunsui is a faster clearer than Orihime. Orihime can clear it faster than Shunsui, and she did do it a couple of times, but that's depending on her weakening procs. It's really inconsistent. The clear times for Orihime were, as quick as 4:05, but as slow as 4:42, depending on, how you play and how much you proc weakening. The charge attack also throws another variable into the mix, because if you try to use it a lot, it'll slow you down. And if you just use it as like a normal strong attack, you'll do less damage. So there's a lot of leeway in Orihime's clear times. Shunsui, on the other hand, was very consistent, around 4:05 to 4:10. He did not proc his one-shot kill on any of my runs, but if he did, that would easily reduce his clear time by maybe 20 seconds. So for clear time, overall Shunsui was faster, and he has the potential to be much faster. Orihime is really like very inconsistent on her clear times. There's too many variables involved, and I feel that consistency is more important than, you know, min-max. So I'm going to give the edge on clear time to Shunsui. So let's round up the results, guys, and I'll give you my final verdict. So for the overall statistics, Shunsui is superior. For their killer effects and their killer affiliation, the edge will definitely go to Orihime, being a human and a Arrancar killer. The soul trait, slight edge to Orihime. I prefer recharge. I think it works better because these characters already hit very hard, and extra strong attack damage that Shunsui has is kind of overkill. As for normal attacks, easily it's Shunsui. Through my playtesting, it's quicker, it has better range, it's just more reliable. And Orihime does have the weakening proc, but it's not really a very common occurrence. So easily the edge will go to Shunsui. He also has a better bruiser, which is 30% as opposed to Orihime's 20%. For strong attacks, the edge will also go to Shunsui. They're faster at activating, they hit harder, and they just have better mechanics, in my opinion. They hit like large range. The third strong attack on Shunsui is a full screener. The second one can potentially one-shot a whole pack of mobs if you use it in the right scenario. And the first strong attack is just overall very useful. Orihime does have a charge attack, but it's difficult to use, and I don't think the damage is worth the charge, in my opinion. Shunsui's third strong attack is still superior to that charge attack. Orihime's second and first strong attacks, they're very linear, and they just don't hit as hard as Shunsui's do. For the special, I'm going to give it to Orihime for the weakening with Debilitator. Shunsui does have a very good special, which is full screen, but his one-shot KO mechanic is too rare. It doesn't proc very often, guys. It's like, I don't even want to speculate on how often it procs, but it's not that often. So the edge on that goes to Orihime. You get weakening every time with Debilitator, and it hits hard to begin with. Now, for the clear times, the edge goes to Shunsui. He had consistently fast times. You know, I didn't proc, like I said, the one-hit KO on the boss, but if I did, it would shave at least 20 seconds off his clear times. Now, Orihime is too inconsistent in her clear times. She's either almost as fast as Shunsui or way slower than Shunsui. And that's because of the mechanics of the character. The charge attack, you know, how to use it, when to charge it up, and the other strong attacks, they're very linear, so if the enemies are spread out, you're going to have to round them up so you can hit them all at once. Shunsui does not have that problem as much, so the strong attack advantage definitely goes to Shunsui. Okay, so finally, if we tally it all up, Shunsui has the advantage in 4 categories, and Orihime has the advantage in 3 of the categories. So you think it's pretty close, but I feel like Shunsui has the advantage in the more important categories, namely normal attacks, strong attacks, and clear time. Those are the very important categories: normal attack, strong attack, and clear time, and that overall, in my opinion, makes him the superior character. Though not by that much. Orihime is still very strong, guys. Don't take this video to mean that I think Orihime is trash. She's a very powerful character, very fun to play, and has very good utility as well, with the weakening procs and the weakening special. So that is my final verdict on this character comparison. Let me know what you guys think. If you disagree with some of my methods or my testing, let me know that as well. But I mean, even without all these testing, just from playing the characters myself, because I do have both, Shunsui, I feel, is more fun, and he's stronger, just overall. Alright, so thanks for watching, everyone. Once again, let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.